What's going on, guys? It's the older recruit here to do another quick video. Today, I'm going to be speaking about what you need to bring to boot camp. There's really only two things that you need to bring. If you are an older recruit, if you are joining from that age range, if you're over the age of 22, under the age of 42, there's only two things you really need to bring. Everything else is optional. I'm going to speak about that at the end on why I think whatever you think you should bring, you shouldn't bring. So if you packed your bag already, dump it out on your bed, dump it out on the floor, listen to what I have to say, and then make your decision on rebuilding that bag. So boom, what are the two things that you need to bring to boot camp? Your recruiter is going to tell you, hey, bring X, Y, and Z. I'm telling you, as a person that did this in 2026 at the age of 32, there's only two things that you need to bring. Number one, you're gonna get go fasters. Your recruiter's gonna tell you that. Oh, they're gonna give you running shoes. So yeah, you'll be fine. Like you don't even need to bring the running shoes. Bring your own running shoes. Don't just bring any pair of running shoes. Spend a couple $100 if you can. If you can, I would get the best possible running shoes because you're gonna do a lot of running. Going to do a lot of running, as you know, that's gonna be a part of your test at the end. You have to run the mile and a half in a certain amount of time, whatever. Spend a little money on these two things that I'm gonna talk about. First is your running shoes. Definitely spend it on your running shoes. When you get to boot camp, they're gonna give you your go fasters. They're gonna bring you in that room. They're gonna strip you down. They're gonna bring you back up, build you back up, literally. So they're gonna be telling you, put this in the bag, put that in the bag, X, Y, and Z. Running shoes is one of the things that they are going to be like, yeah, you can take that. If they tell you you can't take that, I don't know if they changed things in the last few months, but they're supposed to just let you bring your running shoes to the next step because they're running shoes. Number two, it goes hand in hand or foot in foot with the running shoes are insoles. You need to bring three pairs of insoles. Listen to what I'm telling you. You need to bring three pairs of insoles. Mojang Billy Tatu, uno, dos, tres, however you want to count to three. One, two, three. Three pairs of insoles. Why do I say three pairs of insoles? Because two of these insoles are going to be dedicated to your running shoes. The last pair of insoles is going to be dedicated to the boots they're going to give you. Again, once like I said, you're going to get there, especially if you're in the Navy. We all go to Chicago. You're going to get there. You're going to get off the bus. They're going to run you inside. They're going to give you those go fastest first, make you try those on. Good, good, good. Get you into that room. You're going to get your boots a couple minutes later. You see what I'm saying? So then now you're going to have boots and all that stuff. Actually, do you get the boots? Oh my goodness, my memory is so jumbled right now. I don't even remember if you get the boots right there. Maybe you get them the next day. Actually, I think you do get them the next day or something. So you might not get the boots right that second, but you're gonna get the boots within that week. Whatever. Have that pairs. What I did, I went to Dick's Sporting Goods. I spent like 60, $70 on a solid pair. I went with Superfeet. That was the brand at Dick's Sporting Goods that I went to. You're gonna be like, oh, why am I spending $60? Dr. Scholl's is $10, $15. Yeah, I would suggest that the other two pairs of insoles that you bring be Dr. Scholl's, the sports one for running. Get those. That's fine. They're cheaper and whatever. Those are fine. For your boots that you're going to be marching in, I'm telling you right now, especially if you have a division that gets in like a lot of trouble, you're going to be marching miscellaneously with no direction. Why are we doing this? We're still marching? Yes, you're still marching, singing cadences, or even not. So, boom, make sure you have a pair for that because you're going to get some miles on your feet. And I saw a lot of guys, especially in the older recruit range, 28, 30 plus, that range or within that range. So, boom, I saw a lot of guys get hurt. I saw a lot of guys end up having foot issues, shin issues, all types of issues with their legs because it starts on your feet and what's going on with your feet. So spend a couple dollars first. Go get that pair of running shoes for the running aspect, but then do not neglect those insoles that you need to put into those boots because you can't change your boots. You can't bring your own boots. The boots that they give you, that's it. Those are the boots. They give you a little bit of leniency on the running shoes, but the boots are the boots. You can't go in there and say, "Oh, I have my own black pair of boots." Nah, this is what it is. You're wearing the Navy's boots. Get those good insoles. My suggestion, again, you don't have to listen to me. Everything that I talk about on this channel is my opinion. I went with Super Feet from Dick's Sporting Goods. That was what was available to me. Did it do the job? Yes, more than I'm actually wearing them still right now. I'm not gonna lie. Same boots, same insoles. I probably need to change them in the next like month or so. But when once I change them, I'm sticking with super feet for my boots. Uh, and like I said, the other two can be Dr. Scholl's. Technically, you should be bringing four because if you're smart, you probably go get your running shoes before you go to boot camp so that you can break them in, and then you should already have a pair of Dr. Scholl's in those boots. So then the other one, there should be one that should be just kind of a spare because you're gonna run so much that you're probably gonna wear those down quick, and then you could throw that pair into your running shoes. But again, if you just go with three, you'll be fine. You'll definitely be fine because you're gonna have one in your go fasters, one in your personal shoes, and then the one dedicated for the marching in your boots. So that's what you definitely need to bring. Now, I'm just gonna touch on this really quick. I know you want to bring all this various stuff to boot camp. You want to bring for the just for the trip there, and then you're probably thinking about, oh yeah, once I get out of boot camp, I'm just gonna take leave, and I'm gonna go back home anyway. So I'm gonna need. You're not going back home. Let me start out by saying, after boot camp, you're not going straight home, and you're highly likely not taking leave. A lot of people are going in there. I heard this a lot in boot camp. Yeah, I'm about to just take leave right after boot camp. You're not taking leave. Like so, if you think that you're taking leave, you're not. So don't bring anything that you don't need. The one thing maybe I should have brought, which I ended up getting when I was on Liberty anyway, are boxers because when you go in there, if you know anything about it or if your recruiter told you, you're going to be wearing tiny whiteys, or what we call skivvies. You're going to be wearing tiny whiteys the whole boot camp. So you're not going to be wearing your personal boxers, your compression shorts, none of that. You're wearing tiny whiteys every day. So maybe I would have brought, if I would did it again, I would have brought like two, three pairs of boxers and just had them in my bag for when I get out, you know, and then I'm going on Liberty. But I ended up getting that literally just went to Walmart or whatever and got some boxers, which I brought to A school. Cool. I saw guys bringing PlayStations. Somebody bought a PlayStation 5 or whatever, bringing all types of unnecessary stuff. Why is this a problem? It might not be a problem per se going there because, like I said, you're going to go there, that's all you're going to have. You're going to get to boot camp, they're going to get you in that room, they're going to strip you down, make you put all that personal stuff in a box. But some of it you don't want to lose. I saw guys that ended up losing AirPods and all this nice clothes that they wanted. And because again, you're going to be on a time schedule. And this happened to me. I lost a Nike Tech that I really liked. That was what I wore there. But I didn't get my stuff in the box in time. So anything that was left out of it gets donated. That happened to several people. They lost those weird old glasses that people wear where they record people now. They lost AirPods. They lost all this tech type of stuff. So you really don't want to bring all this stuff because you're gonna end up having to store it anyway. But the real problem is when you leave boot camp on your last few days of boot camp, or really on your last day, when they send you again, I'm speaking from a Navy perspective, when they send you to the spot where you need to go in order to get taken to the airport, you're gonna have to pack that sea bag and that book bag that they give you. You're gonna have all of that on you. I'm telling you, you want that trip to be as light as possible because I made that mistake and I had all this personal stuff in my bag that I told my family bring me when I was on Liberty when they came to graduation. So they brought me all this extra stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna need that in A school. If I was doing it over again, I would have just had that shipped to me because that trip is going to be a nightmare when you have a sea bag on your back, you have a book bag in front of you, then you have another personal bag of your other stuff strapped on you. Now you're crazy heavy. It feels like you're walking around with 300 pounds. It's ridiculous. You're walking around the airport. You got to move these bags all the time, especially if you're one of those they bring you there like 3 in the morning and now you're there with everybody in the Navy and you're trying to get to the airport. Make it as light as possible because you're leaving boot camp with a lot of stuff. Unless you're one of those people that like are getting deployed immediately after boot camp, which did happen. Those are probably the only people that like got leave. I don't remember exactly how many days they got, but they did get a little bit of leave because they were literally going to another country right after boot camp. But if you are a regular sailor and you end up going right to your A school, I'm telling you, you want to move as light as possible. So again, there's only two things that you need. If you dump that bag out like I told you to do on your bed or on the floor, build it back up. Make sure that you have your running shoes and three pairs of insoles for stretch. Again, if you have one that's already inside the running shoes that you have, then it would technically be four. But just make sure you have three unopened insoles in that bag and your running shoes. Anything else that you're thinking about bringing is not a necessity. I'm telling you, you're going to get all of that stuff in boot camp, like to get you through. You don't need anything else. If you like to read books, maybe bring a book. Bring a book so that you can read it on the time that you're traveling there and while you're going to your A school. But that's all I got to say for real. That's really all you need. Like always, if you don't get anything else from my video, just understand that if you're over the age of 22 and under the age of 42, it's not too late to serve.